Good morning, boys and girls. So for today, we'll be looking at science on a very interesting topic. But before we go into that, let me remind you of your classroom rules. Remember, there should be no eating in class. If a question is being asked or questions are being asked, then you raise your hand to answer same. You are allowed to drink your water when needed. Before we go into today's topic, I have a little poem that I would like to dramatize for you. So I'd like you to sit back, relax, and listen attentively. So, a plant is made of parts so fine, each with a shape and lovely line. First, the roots, deep down, do grow, holding tight where waters flow. Next, the stem stands tall and straight, lifting parts to reach the gate. The leaves are green, they spread so wide, dancing side by side. Then the flower blooms so bright, painting gardens full of light. Inside the bloom the fruit may hide, with tiny seeds tucked away inside. From roots to seeds, each plays its part. A plant's design, a work of art. So boys and girls, you've heard the poem. So now, do you think the poem is talking about a person? That's right, Sarah. The poem isn't talking about the person. So who do you think the poem is talking about? Yes, John. Indeed, the poem is speaking about a plant. Give him a round of applause. Good. So we heard the roots, the stem, the leaves, the flower, and the fruit. So, what do all these things belong to? Again, we heard the root, the stem, the leaves, the flower, and the fruit. So, what do you think all of these things belong to? Yes, John, you are correct. They are all parts of a plant. So for today, we'll be looking at the parts of a plant.
Hi, good afternoon, students. So today for our science lessons, as we said, we're doing parts of the plant. Now, from our little poem that we have, could you remember that they said that something grows down? Which part of the plant do you think grows down? Yes, John. Now, they say the root grows down. Let me hear you say the name of it. The root. Yes, class. Good. Now, they talked about a part of the plant that is tall and straight. When we look at this plant, which part do you see is tall and straight? Yes, Sarah, this fine green part. And can somebody tell me what's the name of this part? Yes, Sarah, yes. Right, girl. Come, can we name it? Yes, the stem, class. Okay. Now, we know that when we have a garden at home, right? There's this part of the plant that is very bright and it looks nice. Some of us pick it, we put it in our ears. What is the name of that part, class? The flower. Yes, the flower. And can you tell me which part is the flower? Yes, the one at the top here. Yes. So can we say the word? It's the flower. Yes, lovely. I have some bright kids. Now, the poem talks about the parts that are green and they spread so wide. When we look at this part of the plant, now which part is green and it's spread wide? Yes, I'm not hearing you, John. Oh, yes. So the part at the top here is the leaf. Say it with me. Leaf. Good. Now we know that for some of the plants, there's this nice part on this plant we all like to eat. So when we look at this plant, what do we call this part? Yes, we call it the fruit. Say it with me, the fruit. So let's name the parts of the plant again. We have the flower, the leaf, the fruit, yes, the stem and the root. Yes, give yourself a clap. Give yourself a clap.
3.
So yesterday I asked you to walk with some plants. On those plants, I want us to try and identify the parts that we have on the board. So I'll start with this front group here. You guys, okay, this is a dandelion plant. First, we're looking for the root. Can you identify the root? Anyone from this group? Yes, that's the root. Lovely. What about the part that Miss said spreads white and green? That is called the leaf. Where can we find that part? Lovely. Okay, what about the stem? Show me the stem. Yes, this is the stem here. And then we have which part Miss says brighten up the garden? Our flower. Very good. So we have our flower here for this plant. But something is missing. Can anyone tell me what this is? Let's ask this group over here. What's missing from that plant? The fruit. Lovely. Now another day we will learn why the fruit is missing. Not all plants have fruits, but we can see stems, the leaf, and the root on all plants, but not all of them have fruits, right? Now that we know what the parts of the plant are, let's go into our little activity.
So now that everyone has learned about what the parts of the plant are, we just have some activities here that I would like you to complete so that we know that you understand the parts of the plant, right? Good. So one, we have here for you, you're going to draw a picture of the plant and use the words given in the little box to label that plant correctly, right? So you have to draw your plant and then label the parts of the plant using the words there. The labels are there, the names of the part of the plant. You just have to draw your picture and then put in the parts. The other group, you are going to match the parts of the plant. So you have your worksheet here and you're seeing the pictures of part of the plant on one side, and the other side we have the names. So you're going to match the picture to the name, right? Now, the last group. So Miss have here a little puzzle kind of thingy. Now, it's part of the plant. They have the name next to the part. Now, what you have to do is arrange them to show the part of the plant. Make this plant, right? Now, if you notice, you only have 4 pieces, right? Don't worry, right? We know we learned 5 pieces, but we know we learned 5 parts, sorry, but don't worry about that. You use the 4 here, right? To correctly arrange them to make your plant. Now, when you're finished doing that, you're going to color the picture showing the part of the plant, right? Everybody understand? All right, you can begin. So, let's see what Keisha did in her work here. So, very nice, her flower, and she colored too. And she drew what here? Grapes, okay. So, nice. Let's see what somebody else did from the second group. Alright, let's see John work. So, John match, that's his root, his flower, fruit, his leaf, and his stem. Nice. Everybody understand, right? Good. So let's see somebody else in here now. Alright, so good, nice. So here we notice we don't have a fruit in this plant. Good. So we have here at the top of our plant a flower. So this is a flower plant, right? So we have the leaf, our stem, and our root. And this is a nice orange flower. Alright, so we're gonna paste this together in our books. Very good. So I can see that everybody understands parts of the plant now, right? All right, I'll hand you over to Miss.
All right, boys and girls. Now that you have finished your little activities within your group, I want you now to stand. Let us Now think about all the things we have learned today in today's lesson. Think about everything Miss have taught you and everything you talked with Miss today. Think about it. Good. Now I want you, I'm going to ask some persons in the group, in the different groups, to tell me what you have learned today in today's lesson, right? Good. So let us have some hands up. Keep on thinking. Close your eyes. Good. I'm seeing Trinacia, hands up. Trinacia, can you tell me what you have learned? You can open your eyes now, everybody. What you have learned in today's lesson? Good. You have learned that there are 5 main parts of the plan. Give her a clap. Very good. There are how many main parts of the plan? 5. Good. Can group B tell me, name some of the main parts of the plan? What are the 5 main parts of the plan? Yes, John? Good. There is the leaf. Very good. The stem, the flower, the root, and the fruit. Very good. Give him a clap, clap. Good. And remember from the poem, we know that all of these parts, what they all have a little function. What the stem does, what the root does, what the fruit does. However, next week, we are going to talk about what these parts of the plan does, right? So remember today what we looked at? We looked at the parts of the plan and we looked at how to identify these parts of the plan within the pictures and so on, right? Good. Any question, class? No. All right. So everybody understand? All right. Good. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson.